Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video and would like to receive notifications of my future video, please subscribe. In this video, I would like to show you how to cook a traditional American style meal in the wok. This is New York strip steak and American fried potatoes. Recently, a friend of mine came to visit me from overseas. I met him from the days when we were both in college together. Since then, he has returned to his home country and worked there. He was spending a weekend with us, and on the first night, I asked her what would he like for dinner. He said to me kind of sheepishly, he said, well, I really miss to have a good piece of steak. And he said, you probably won't have it at last minute, but I always like to have some American fried potatoes with onion. I told him it's not a problem. I actually have some New York strip steak in the freezer, and I can cook that up for him. On top of that, I have some potato, and it's easy for me to make some American home fried potato with onions. Well, this is one of the major advantages of prepping in advance. I always have steak in the freezer because my son loves steak. And so the way how I prep them is that when I purchase the steak, I bring it home and I cut it up into cubes because I have found out that this is the best way to cook them, which I will show you in a minute. And then I store them in about 10-ounce package, just enough for one person. Personally, I don't eat steak very much at all, but I thought it would be always nice to have it when I have friends visiting, particularly from overseas. And this time it is a perfect occasion that I am going to cook up some steak for my friend. I took some steak out of the freezer and I put it in a sink with warm water. At the meantime, I took some potato and I peeled them. And it took about 15 minutes for the steak to thaw out, and now I'm ready to cook. I cut the potato into thin slices, and I already have some onion cut up in the refrigerator, so I'm all ready to start cooking. I'm going to use my Cucina 14-inch stainless steel wok to cook both the potato and the steak. After I heat up the wok, I add about 2 tablespoons of canola oil, just enough to cover the bottom of the wok. I let the wok to smoke gently for about 15 seconds, and this is the time when the wok is being seasoned. If you are not familiar with my spot seasoning method, you can take a look at this video. I use a pair of tongs to put the steak into the wok one at a time. I want to sear the bottom of the steak. I let the steak to cook for about 10 to 20 seconds, not too long, because I do not want to burn the bottom too much. Then I start to turn the steak around and sear the other end of the steak. The advantage of cutting the steak into cubes is that you can sear all sides of the steak. Actually, with the thickness of steak, this is no different if you have cooked the steak in its entirety. So I turn the steak all the way around to make sure all sides are being seared. I use the meat thermometer to measure the temperature of the steak. I find out that the temperature for medium rare, which is my friend would like to have it, is about 130 degrees Fahrenheit. It is wonderful to have a meat thermometer because it takes out all the guesswork. The total time for cooking the steak is approximately about 7 minutes. It is much quicker this way than if you cook the entire piece of steak, which would take about twice as much time. I put the steak in a plastic container and I'm going to let it rest for about 5 to 10 minutes before I cut it open. I sliced the steak in half because it is easier for my friend to eat. The steak turned out really well because, as you can see, the inside of the steak is almost in a perfect medium rare state. This method not only keeps the steak seared on all sides, but the inside is nice, moist, and tender. I have cooked steaks in many different ways, but this by far probably the best way to cook steak. Lastly, before I serve the steak on a plate, I season it with my basic seasoning mix. My basic seasoning mix is relatively mild, so it really helps to enhance the natural flavor of the steak. Next, I'm going to fry the American home fried potatoes with onion. I'm not going to wash the wok. I'm going to fry the potatoes directly in the oil that are created by cooking the steak. The wok does a really good job in frying the potatoes. However, if you want to fry a lot of potatoes, you probably want to use a large skillet. But for the purpose of this meal preparation, the wok is just big enough for doing the home fried potatoes. Again, one of the nice things by using a wok to fry the potato is that you don't need to put in a lot of oil. Again, I put the potato into the wok one at a time using a pair of tongs. Make sure that they all cover the surface of the wok and in touch with the bottom surface. I turn the heat of the burner to about medium, and I use the tongs to move the potato around to make sure that they do not get burned to the bottom of the wok. As you can see, there's no problem because the potato actually do not attach or get burned to the bottom of the wok at all. I let the potatoes to cook for about 30 to 50 seconds. And then I use the tongs to turn them around. As you can see, the back side of the potato already start to turn golden brown. I continue to turn potatoes around. I start using the wok spatula instead because that's much easier, and I will turn them so that in such a way that both sides are cooked to equally golden brown color. I next add about 1 cup of sliced onion to the potato, and I use the wok spatula to stir them and mix them up. Now I use white onion because I like the sweetness of the onion, but you can use any kind of onion that you prefer. A lot of time I use red onion, and I like that as well. I cook the onion for a relatively short time because I want to maintain some of the crisp texture of the onion. I then cook the onion for about 30 to 40 seconds, and then I season the dish. Again, use my basic seasoning mix. Okay, now the potato is done. So I transfer the content to a serving plate, and together with the steak that I have sliced up. And my friend feel that it was probably one of the best steak that he has ever had in his life. He really enjoyed the potato and onion as well. And he told me he particularly liked the flavor of the seasoning. So I gave him a bottle of my basic seasoning mix to take back home. When I finished cooking the dish, I noticed that some of the food particles has stuck and burned to the bottom of the wok. This is due to the caramelization of the sugar in the onion, and together combined with some of the residues from the potatoes. My friend was standing there watching me to cook, and he asked me, so how are you going to clean this? It's going to be difficult to clean because he has a stainless steel cooking pan at home, and he finds that sometimes when he cooks like this, it is very difficult to clean it. So I show him my hot water cleaning method. Basically, I heat up the wok and I squeeze water into the hot wok. As the water turns into steam, everything comes off from the surface of the wok immediately. I then take the wok over to the sink. I rinse it with water, and then I use my wok brush. In a matter of seconds, I have the wok clean. And he was very impressed. He said, I have to go home and try this as well. In this video, I really want to demonstrate to you the versatility of the wok. So if you want to just cook a small amount of steak, this method actually works really well, and the quality of the steak truly is top-notch. Actually, in my freezer, I have 3 different kinds of steak. I have sirloin, I have, of course, the New York strip, and I also have rib eye. And I usually buy them when they go on sale, and then I take them home and I prep them so it will be ready anytime I want to use them. I don't eat steak that often, but once in a while when I have visitors, I will cook them just the way as I'm doing now, or I will cook them and then I slice them and then I add them to the top of a stir-fry dish. So I hope that you will find that variety is the key to eating good at home, and you can see by home cooking, you truly can create excellent meal that will cost you a lot of money if you eat in a restaurant. Furthermore, you can cook them exactly the way how you like it. when you have prepping in advance, all of this actually are quite easy to do. It's well within your capability. So, okay, if you enjoyed this video, please click the like icon below because that will help me to expand my audience base. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you would like to receive notifications of my future video postings. Thank you for watching. I am looking forward to see you next time.